It's your friendly neighborhood Master Alan, and I am going to break down One Pinion for you today. Now, we have two groups of forms or families of forms that we teach as you make your way to black belt. There are pinions, which we borrowed from karate, and katas, which we borrowed from kempo. Now, we have our own physics that we sort of emphasize within these forms, so they're going to look a little different from how other styles might do these same forms. See, the reason for forms training is it's to practice certain physics and certain body motions so that you get to repeat it several times so you can kind of develop your own proficiency. The part of the reason why forms exist is so that you can have an instructor go over lots of details with you as they teach you the form, and then you go away from the teacher, practice the form several times over and over so that you can then learn lessons from the form. And so there'll be points of emphasis that the instructor is going to go over, and then some of the improvement that you need to make is going to be based on your body and the way that you move and the way that you need to move and those sorts of things. And the form is going to help you develop an understanding of that. Now, One Pinion, we are only going to do 7 and 8 block out of the 8-point blocking system, the front 2 knuckle punch, and half moon stances. There's a couple of horse stances in there too. So it's built entirely out of white belt material, but it can be a lot to remember, and that's the reason why we're not tackling this until a little bit later on. So I'm going to dive into the first part, which you learned before blue belt, and then once you get to blue belt, we're going to add a long turn and complete the form. Now, most of our pinions use a salutation that we call a dragon breathing. Now, the salutation in your forms, it happens at the beginning and the end of the form. So the first salutation happens when all of a sudden you have a group of attackers that all want to fight. And then the form ends, the ending salutation happens when that group of attackers does not want to fight anymore. And so for One Pinion, we do a salutation called a dragon breathing. So we're going to start in front position. We bow. You step out to your horse stance. As I step out, I bring the hammer parts of my fists together, and then I'm going to breathe out as my hands come down. And it's a little bit like I'm doing 7 and 8 block out, but instead of dropping the blocks out fast, I'm going to breathe from my dantian. That's your energy center. It's sort of, you should feel about where your belt knot is tied. You can kind of breathe from that spot. And then I want to use this to make sure I've got my posture lined up. So if I start and my shoulders are a little rounded as I do the salutation, I want to make sure my back comes up straight. I'm in a good strong horse stance. I have my knees bent. My eyes are forward. Now I bring my hand into elbow position. My left hand comes up to my ear. I'm going to pivot to my left side. And so my foot comes in. It's almost like I pull into a cat stance, but instead of pulling in and freezing, I'm going to slide in and out to a half moon stance and block down with a number 8 block. Then I happen forward, and I'm going to throw a front 2 knuckle punch, and I want that to be sort of in a middle target. So like from solar plexus to middle chest, that's about where I want to throw that punch. So ready again. I have my front position, I bow, I do my dragon breathing. So the dragon breathing, you press your breath out smooth and slow, and it's a physical action to help you make sure you're focusing your mind. That's part of what your salutations are for. So the right hand comes into elbow position, left hand comes up to your ear, pivot, block from the half moon stance, half moon forward, punch. Okay. Let's do that one more time, and then I'm going to let you practice it on your own. So do this one a couple of times, and then pause the video, do this a couple of times, then we'll add the next piece. All right, next piece, we're going to add a turn where we turn 180 degrees, which basically means we go from facing one direction to facing the opposite direction. So I bow, step out, dragon breathing. Right hand comes into elbow position, left hand comes up to my ear, left foot comes in and out, block in my half moon stance, half moon forward, front two knuckle punch. Make sure you have good push pull. Now that hand is going to come back into my ear. And now my front foot, my right foot, is going to draw a straight line to get to a new half moon stance facing the wall behind me. So the foot is going to move through, and I want it to go on as straight a line as possible. So I don't want to drag it around in like a circle, like I turn my legs into a compass. I want my foot to take the shortcut. And as I come around, now I'm in a half moon stance facing in this direction. I've got my right foot forward, and I do my 7 block there. So let's do that turn again. I've got my right foot out, my right hand out. I just did the punch. The hand comes in. The foot moves through. And I block. Then I'm going to half move forward and throw another front knuckle punch. So we're already 2/3 of the way done, depending on how you want to think about it. Bow, step out, salutation. Elbow position, hand comes up, turn, block, half moon, punch, hand comes up, pivot, block, half moon, punch. All through all of that, you want to make sure you're working on, okay, good posture, good half moon step, good push pull. One Pinion exists to help you get good at those skills. It's a little container that holds those martial arts skills plus a bunch of other stuff as well. Let's do it together one more time, and then I'm going to let you practice before we do the last step. Dragon breathing. Right hand comes in, left hand comes up, turn, block, half moon, punch, hand comes up, turn, block, half moon, punch. See you again in a second. Home stretch. Let's finish this up, and then you can work on the first part of One Pinion, and you'll have completed this form. So I start in my front position. Bow, step out, salutation. Right hand comes in, left hand comes up, pivot, block, half moon, punch. Hand comes up, all the way around, so that's that 180 degree turn, block, half moon, punch. Now, my last turn, I'm going to go towards the mirror. My front foot comes in and out so that I make a 90 degree turn. It's sort of like I'm going to trace a letter V on the floor with my leg. And so the left hand comes up to my ear, just like we did a second ago with the right hand. I come in, out, block, and key out right there. So let's do that from the beginning. Turn and block, half moon punch, turn and block, half moon punch. Towards the mirror, you're going to move that foot, block, and key out. Now, we've got 3 front 2 knuckle punches, so you're going to half move forward. 1, half move forward. 2, half move forward. 3. For right now, I want you to make sure you get your foot in place before you punch. So if you notice, while I was half mooning, I had my hand still sticking out from the punch that it had delivered that stance before. And that's how I want you to practice it for right now. Let's do the whole thing. All right, so we turn towards the mirror, block and key eye. Half moon, push, pull. Half moon, so that hand stays out. Push, pull. Half moon, push, pull. So that's going to complete the first part of One Pinion. So you've got the whole thing now. Check back, watch the video as many times as you need to get reminders and to help yourself practice. That's why we're making these. And I'll see you again soon.